gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Today we're diving into one of the most anticipated potential matchups in UFC history, the trilogy fight between the notorious Conor McGregor and Stockton's very own BMF himself, Nate Diaz. These two have given us two of the most thrilling UFC bouts I have seen in my recent memory. They even broke records within the UFC as two of the highest grossing fights in the history of the organization. So yeah, the idea of a third fight has everyone buzzing.
They want you to give us a quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind.
Nate can only count to 5. Okay. Count to 5, Nate, will you, if you can?
To understand the magnitude of this rivalry, let's take a trip back to 2016. At that time, Conor McGregor was riding high. He was the featherweight champion, known for his sharp tongue and vicious knockout power, specifically with his left hand. Fresh off a 13-second KO victory over Jose Aldo, McGregor was set to challenge for the lightweight title against Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 196, aiming to become the first fighter in UFC history to hold two belts simultaneously.
And I tell you that right now, I'll whoop every single one of them inside 4 months if you cut out all this shit. Bring me in, weigh me in, and I'll fight the next night and wipe out the entire game inside 4 months.
This was an exciting time to be an MMA fan, and is when a lot of you may have started watching MMA. Comment below if you started watching MMA around this time. Just 11 days before the event, Dos Anjos pulled out due to a broken foot. The UFC scrambled to find a replacement, and in stepped Nate Diaz, a fan favorite known for his gritty fighting style and no-nonsense attitude. Despite having only 10 days, Diaz, who was training on a boat in Cabo at the time, accepted the fight, and thus the trajectory of the sport of MMA would soon get a significant bump in popularity.
Nate, Conor has gone on record by saying that he's going to win by knocking you out.
Better hope. He better hope.
Hope for what?
Better hope he gets that knockout. Otherwise, it's going to be a f***ed up night for him.
Fight night arrived, and the atmosphere was electric. McGregor started strong, landing heavy shots and opening up a cut above Diaz's right eye. It seemed like another McGregor knockout was imminent, but Diaz, known for his incredible durability and cardio, weathered the storm. Then came the second round. Diaz found his rhythm, landing a series of punches that wobbled McGregor. Sensing his moment, Diaz turned up the pressure. McGregor, visibly exhausted, attempted a takedown, a move that played right into Diaz's strengths. Nate quickly transitioned, taking McGregor's back and locking in a rear naked choke. With no escape, McGregor was forced to tap out. Diaz's victory was a seismic shock in the MMA world. He had derailed McGregor's seemingly unstoppable rise and done so on just 10 days' notice.
Nate Diaz, you just shook up the world, and I'm not surprised.
The rematch at UFC 212 was equally epic. McGregor, determined to avenge his loss, adjusted his strategy and fought a more measured tactical fight. Diaz, as tough as ever, pushed McGregor to his limits, but this time, Conor emerged victorious via majority decision. The back and forth nature of their battles left fans clamoring for a trilogy bout.
Conor fucking hit me in the body in the first fight. But he hit me that, ooh, yeah, you like that? I think, all right, motherfucker.
Do you think that another McGregor fight ever happens?
100%.
So, where do we stand now? Conor McGregor has been vocal about wanting a trilogy fight with Diaz, and Diaz himself has shown interest. But there are a few obstacles in the way. First, McGregor revealed in a recent interview that he only has a couple of fights left on his current UFC contract. Dana White has stated that McGregor's comeback fight is supposed to be against Michael Chandler, but with McGregor hinting that he might part ways with the UFC if necessary, the future is uncertain. Nate Diaz has ventured into the world of boxing. He recently fought YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul in his first professional boxing match. Although Diaz lost, he made a substantial payday, way more than in his MMA career anyway, and he seems interested in continuing his boxing career. Interestingly, retired UFC star Jorge Masvidal announced he's returning to the ring to face Nate Diaz in a boxing match. With many MMA fighters making the switch to boxing, McGregor has also shown interest in getting back into the squared circle too, believe it or not. McGregor's bout with Floyd Mayweather in 2017 was the biggest fight in combat sports history. McGregor believes he could replicate that success with other big names, mentioning potential fights against Manny Pacquiao and even influencer KSI. If McGregor truly does still want a combat sports career, and he intends to fulfill his UFC contract obligations, here's the big question we're all wanting to know the answer to. Will the UFC be able to set up the much anticipated trilogy fight with Nate Diaz? Both fighters have a lot of options on the table, and the timing has to be perfect for this trilogy to happen. But one thing's for sure, if McGregor and Diaz meet in the octagon again, it's bound to be another historic event. Dana White has been clamoring to answer the question, will there be another record-breaking UFC event to top Conor vs. Dustin 3, a trilogy that we all know played out in Dustin's favor? The answer, McGregor-Diaz 3. If you enjoy weekly original MMA content just like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're updated every weekend when we drop a new video. Let us know in the comments if you think McGregor and Diaz will complete their trilogy and who you think would ultimately come out on top after all these years. We'll see you in the next one. Speaking of that, here's another video for you.